Okay, let's try this again. I don't know what happened. This is the video that goes with the first file that will unlock the morning of the 23rd. This is on the product and power rule, so it should say something about A.11b. But what I need you to do first is in order to spiral back some SEs that we struggled on semester one, we're doing the first 15 or 20 minutes of class doing IXL. And if you log into IXL at the top, if you type this code in, you're going to select writing equations in slope-intercept form given a graph. So just to review, this is the slope-intercept form. This is the y-intercept. And this is the slope. And remember, slope from a graph is you're picking 2 points, and it's rise over run. Keep it as a fraction if it happens to be a fraction, and reduce it. So this is what I need you to spend probably 15 minutes doing, and then go on and follow the notes. Okay, so that's that thing. So that should take you about 15 minutes. So this is really important because you will see, probably 5 or 6 questions, maybe 3 or 4 questions on property of exponents, because it is a readiness SE. It is really important, okay? So just to review, because I know that you did this in 6th grade, that's when exponents were introduced. We have a base, which is the big number. Exponent is the small number, expanded form, and we're going to get into why you're going to need expanded form in a little bit. And then the simplified, if you can, if it's numeric, you're going to do the multiplication. So for A, I have 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. 2, 3. So this becomes 4 to the 7th. For B, I have n to the 3rd, which is n times n times n, times n to the 3rd, which is n times n times n. So I'm ending up multiplying n to the 6th. Okay, properties of, this is what we're working on now, is the product rule. So the product of power rules, if the bases, and this is important, you need to add this, bases must be equal. Okay, this only works if your bases are the same. You're going to add the exponents. Okay, if a to the x times a to the y, you just add the exponents. So number 1, x to the 5th times x to the 12th is x to the 5 plus 12 equals x to the 17th. And on this one, I'm not going to make you write it in simplified form, which means I'm not going to make you do the multiplication on the ones with the numeric. So I have 9 to the 4th times 9 to the 4th. I add my bases are the same, so I add my exponent. I have 9 to the 6th, not 9 to the 16th. Ignore that part. 9 to the 8th. Okay, so for number 3, what do you do if you don't see an exponent? It's just like when we distributed, I didn't have a number, so we distributed the -1. If you don't see an exponent, put a 1. So b times b to the 7th is the same as b to the 1st times b to the 7th, b to the 1 plus b to the 7th, b to the 8th. Doesn't matter how many you have. Question number 4 is 3 to the third times 3 to the fourth times 3 to the fifth. My bases are all the same. So it is 3 to the 12th power. So when you have, when expressions contain different bases, group the powers with the same base. Okay, so here, my bases with different, things with different bases are my constants. I'm going to multiply 3 times 5, and then I'm going to have x to the fourth times x to the fifth. And here, yes, you're going to simplify. If they give you numbers, go ahead and do that multiplication and simplify. So I've got 15x to the ninth. Okay, a better example would be 4x to the third y times 6x squared y to the third. I'm going to put my constants together. And then I'm going to put my x's together. And then I'm going to put my y's together. 4 times 6 is 24. X to the third times x squared is x to the fifth. Y to the fourth. So for number 7, 2 times, negative 2 times 8. A to the first times a to the second. And then I have b to the third. Negative 2 times 8, negative 16. 1 plus 2 is 3. And then b to the third. And then you're done. Okay, so now we're talking about power of a power. Power of a power. So this just means I have 2 squared to the third power, which is 2 to the 2 squared. And I'm going to put this 3 times. So I'm going to have 2 to the 2 plus 2 plus 2, which is 2 to the 6th. Okay? For example, D, again, it doesn't have one, so I'm going to put one. I'm going to have 4x squared times 4x squared. 4 times 4 is 16. X to the fourth. And basically what this is I am multiplying the powers. So when you, this is different from product rule where you add. We're here, like right here. This 2 plus 2 is 4. Here I multiply when I'm raising something to a power. And if you have something inside, so this is example D, you do both. You raise both to the power. And we're going to get into more examples in just a second. Okay, so apply properties of exponents, and this is how it's going to be tested. You're going to be doing, there's actually several more rules. There's the product rule, the power rule, the quotient rule, rational exponents, negative exponents. And you could see all of those exponent laws or rules in the same problem. And these are also on your formula chart. So you should still have, hopefully, that half sheet of purple formula chart I gave you, because these are rules you don't actually have to memorize. They're all on your formula chart. So here I have x to the 7 times 3. So it's x to the 21st. So here is 7 to the third, c to the third, d to the third, 7 to the third is, if you wanted to write it out, 328, 343. So 343, c to the third power, d to the third power. So for number 10, it's negative 12 squared, a to the 6th squared, b to the 5th squared, c squared. So negative 12 squared is 144. A, now remember, because we're taking a power to a power, we're multiplying. A to the 12th, b to the 10th, c squared. And number 11 is very similar to what you will see on STAR, where you're combining. You simplify each part first, so we're going to do this one first. Oops. And then we'll do this side, and then we'll combine them. So I have 4 squared, x to the 4th, y squared. So this reduces to 16 x to the 4th, y squared, times 2y to the 12th. And notice this 2 is not raised to the 4th power because it is outside of the parentheses. So now I'm going to combine. I'm going to multiply my constants. So 16 times 2 is 32. X to the 4th. And here, now that I'm multiplying, I'm going to add those. So y to the 2 plus 12 is 14th. And that will be your simplified answer. Okay? So if we look at number 12, what did Melissa, what was her error? Okay, and I'll let you figure that out. And then here, this right here, I need you to kind of focus on, because this is a common way it's tested. The expression x to the 15th times x to the 6th to the 4th is equivalent to x to the n power. Find the value of n. Well, we know I'm multiplying these, so I'm going to be adding the exponents together. So it's going to be x to the 15th times x to the 24th. So it's going to be 15 plus 24. So it should give us x to the 39th. And so you would put 39 as your answer. Okay, so again, this is another one of those examples of how it will very easily be tested. Okay, so here, I know that this is equal to this. So now I need to find out what n is. So here, I'm going to do this first because I know x to the 5th to the 3rd power is going to give me x to the 15th. Times x to the n, and I know it's going to equal x to the 30. So after I raise this to the power of powers by multiplying, now I know it's going to be x to the n plus 15 equals x to the 30. So what do you add to 15 to get 30? So in this case, n is 15. And again, just like we did before on the dividing polynomials, a really popular way of applying this is when they give you area and volume problems. So here, triangular piece of fabric used in creating a kite has the dimensions shown. Write an expression to represent the area of the triangle. Area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. So we have 6a squared b times 8ab cubed divided by 2. So here we're just using the product rule. So I'm going to add the exponents of the same bases. 6 times 8, 48. A squared times a is a to the third. B times b to the third is b to the fourth divided by 2. And in this case, you're only dividing the coefficient. So the answer is 24, a to the third, b to the fourth. So explain, Octavia simplified the expression as shown. Explain Octavia's error and correct her work. So let's check. So 3x to the 9th squared. So 3 squared times x to the 2 times 9 times 3x squared to the 4th power. So 3 to the 4th times x to the 2 times 4. So we have 9x to the 18 times 81 x to the 8th. 9 times 81 is 729. X to the 26th. So compare what I did with what she did. And the whole reason we give you these kind of error analysis problems is that's where the people are going to make their mistakes. And if you can identify them, you've got it. So right here, does this line look like the first line? Okay, so what did she do wrong? 9, did she multiply or did she add? Okay, that's what she did. So she added. Instead of multiplying. So that's the common mistake. So this is the first day of the week's lessons. The assignment is a Google slide. It's a maze where you're going to drag and drop to show your maze. What I need you to do is to do your work for each problem on a separate sheet of paper. And if you can, take a picture of it and send that to me or attach it with the assignment in Schoology. Okay? So, and then hopefully on Wednesday morning, I will send you the video for Wednesday, Thursday activity. Friday morning, you'll get Fridays. And then we'll go from there. And again, this is the new stuff. So please let me know if you need help. Okay? Have a great day.